Guys, it's Khristina from Redefined Kreative, and I am back with another episode of Paper Person Playtime with our brand new kits, and I'm super excited. So this is a series that my friends Sara Scraps, Suzanna Lee, and I all play along with our Paper Person kits each month to give you some really fun ideas. And this month's kit, which makes me super excited, is all kind of about food. And so all the cards are food related, and I went ahead and did add some things from my stash just because I felt like I needed a little bit of kind of embellishing. And today is also Redefined Kreative Day, which is the day when everybody in the Secret Not Secret Kit Club kind of creates for Redefined Kreative, which is also super, super fun. So do make sure that you kind of hang around on YouTube and Facebook and check out what everybody is making today. So I have two pictures, and this is like my tribute to Sara Scraps. So when Sara and I went to a retreat, she had gotten me started eating this popcorn that's called Chicago Mix. And we don't have that out here, or we didn't at this time. Now it's kind of starting to pop up. So she had sent me some in the mail from the place where she gets it in her hometown. And so that's kind of what I am documenting. So I have one picture of the bag that she sent, and then I have one picture kind of a close-up. And so I'm going to use this mustard colored ledger paper as my background. And then I wanted to put a little bit of that diagonal stripe kind of through the middle. It's going to end up a little bit towards the bottom because I tend to not put my layers right like directly in the center. I just feel like I like it better if I have it a little bit off center. And then I'm going to go ahead and make the bottom of the layout just white cardstock. So I wanted there to be some white space to kind of break things up on the layout itself. So I have these kind of three sections going on so far, and I am going to add in some other layers, but that's where we're going to kind of start. And then I'm just looking through the rest of the paper that came in the kit this month because I really do try to stay pretty true to using just the kit. I did pull in an alphabet and some embellishments this time, but otherwise I'm just using things from the kit. So I want to use this 3x4 card that says Bon Appetit and kind of tuck it into my layers. And I don't like the way the green looks with the mustard in the background, like when they're right next to each other. So I am going to go back and put a white border around that card, just like I did around my photos. I also took this little strip of kind of oranges, which I felt matched really well with my photos. And that's also from one of the pattern papers in the kit this month. So I'm going to do that white backing around my card, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a notebook edge on the top. So it almost looks like it was like torn out of a recipe book or something like that. And I just like that little extra detail that notebook edging adds. I do want to get a little bit of color up there, so I am going to take another little strip of this kind of orange and red striped paper and use that across the top part in between the card and the notebook edging, just because I really like that kind of little extra pop of color that adds up there at the top. And that pattern paper is perfect with my photos because it matches kind of all the colors in this popcorn mix. So I did pull out a stamp set from Close to My Heart because it has this little teeny tiny 3 little pieces of popcorn. So it seems kind of silly to pull out an entire stamp set for that one little teeny tiny stamp. But I wanted to add it. I was thinking about adding it all across the bottom of the layout and ended up not going with that. But I am going to go ahead and put one little cluster of popcorn by this Bon Appetit on the card. And I feel like that one little detail just adds so much to that card. So don't overestimate, or underestimate, I should say, don't underestimate the power of using a tiny stamp or tiny embellishments. Because sometimes they do add just the perfect little touch. So I'm going to take some of these Redefined Kreative, what's the word? Wood veneer open hearts. And I'm kind of creating 3 clusters for my embellishments. So I'm going to have one on top of that Bon Appetit card. I'm going to have one down in that kind of like bottom right corner. And then to finish off my visual triangle, I'm going to have a cluster that I build up on the top. And I thought it was kind of cute to have the heart over the Saturday. But if you were using a paper like this, you could totally add some kind of embellishment about like over or around whatever day of the week you wanted to focus on. And I think that's such a cute way to use a ledger paper like this. So I did also pull in some of these little chipboard circles from Pink Fresh Studio. They match the colors perfectly. I had a couple of little sticker circles as well that I pulled in from P13, and so you can kind of see that sheet sitting there. And then I have this big white block alpha that I want to use to just say Chicago Mix, which is going to be my title. And so I'm going to kind of nestle everything in here together. So everything is going to work together. We're not going to have any like lost floating elements out in space throughout the layout. And so I just wanted to say Chicago Mix to be my title. I am going to leave that white space at the bottom, basically just a resting spot because there is so much color and pattern going on with the rest of the layout. But you absolutely could use that space for journaling. You could do some additional stamping or mixed media down there. So if you have a hard time with white space, just remember there's no rules in scrapbooking. So however it seems like most appealing to your eye is how it's going to work the best. Now I still felt like this layout was missing some things, so I end up going back to my stash. You can see me kind of like tapping on the desk like, it's missing something, but I don't know what. So I do end up going back to my stash, and I'm going to pull out these storyteller stickers from Vicki, which seem to match everything, you guys. I just feel like I'm using this storyteller collection to match with everything. It is one of my favorites. So there's these little banner stickers. This one says love this. And then think happy, I think, is the one that's going to go up there. And then I'm going to add a third one to kind of keep working on this cluster up at the top. And that one says good times. And so I just want to keep adding those little details, and I'm going to create balance by making sure that I add the elements throughout all of my embellishment clusters. So it's a really kind of simple way to make sure that your layout ends up balanced. I also really liked these heart stickers that have all these different pattern paper, like the look of all these different pattern paper strips. So I am going to go ahead and get those into my clusters as well. And I'm going to have this one up on top going off the page so that I can use it twice. So I'm going to use half of it in that cluster up at the top, and then I'm going to tuck half of it in by the C in Chicago, so that I carry that element like around my title and throughout my layout. But otherwise, there's not going to be a whole ton of other things that I do with this layout. I am going to go back and add some journaling, which I haven't done in the close-up photos yet. But you can see how that little popcorn stamp added just the perfect little pop of detail. And I love this popcorn. I love this kit. And I hope Sara Scraps loves what I did too. Bye, guys.